There follows a public service broadcast by the Visit Chandwell Tourist Board.
Chandwell, a town of beauty, a town of culture, a town of industry, a town that's not as grim as you think it is. My name's Britney, and I'm here to show you just what you are missing out on by not being in Chandwell right now. As you step out of your comfortable modern train, take a moment to marvel at the Victorian splendour of Chandwell's original station roof. Built in 1888 and exuding dilapidated charm, the roof will shield you from some of the rain as you walk out into our beautiful town. Let's take a walk down Station Alley. This is the start of Chandwell's imposing 17-arch viaduct, which curves through the town centre on its way to nicer places. Here you will pass the arches of the retaining wall and over cobbled streets steeped in industrial heritage. You will pass the thriving businesses of the town. Wharf Motors, Norman & Son and Scott & Hart have had premises in the viaduct for as long as anyone can remember. Generations of Chandwell teenagers have hung about down here and enjoyed the night air. Nobody actually knows what's going on behind the shuttered door of Norman & Son. It's a real mystery of the town. Take a pause on Bridge Lane and marvel at the ancient stones of the old bridge. Built in the 13th century, Chandwell's Old Bridge is a scheduled ancient monument that carries Bridge Lane over the beautiful Chandler, which usually is more or less litter-free. The eastern end of the bridge dates back to 1228, when the Archbishop of York had it built to provide a more direct route to York. Today, it is a lovely spot to catch some air after a long night drinking in the nearby Weir pub. The Weir is the cultural heart of Chandwell, host to many late night events and hardly any fights. Drop in for a pint and a warm welcome. Maybe visit somewhere else on a Friday night though. As you pass the Weir, take a look down at Robert's Weir, built by local philanthropist Simon Roberts. The reason for the Weir being here is lost in the history of our town. There is some debate whether Simon himself ever really knew what he was doing, but the common wisdom is that he always did. If you look closely between the weeds and the rubbish, you may spot the opening through which Rosbeck flows into the Chandler. If you are really lucky, you may spot an otter, or at least an old bike. Take a walk along the 5 Mills path from the old bridge to see some of Chandwell's most charming industrial heritage. You can marvel at the 9 beautiful iron arches of Rosbeck Bridge, built by local engineer Benjamin Knight in 1877. The path side bridge wall contains a superb and almost unspoiled specimen of work by local and renowned graffiti artist Stanley. Nobody knows the true identity of Stanley, but local folklore claims that he lives in a cave up by Michael's Rock above the 2 mighty tunnel portals on Baker's Hill. Why not take a walk up there? Explore Baker's Hill and see if you can find Stanley's Cave. Be sure to call in for a bun from T&C Bakery on your way past. Award-winning head baker Ted will be sure to tell you all the tales of monsters and witchcraft that shroud Chandwell High Moor in mystery. And this brings us to the end of the tour of our town. As you have seen, Chandwell is a lovely, thriving, friendly place with far more to do and see than you could possibly fit into an hour and a half. So get yourself down to your local station and ask for a single ticket to Chandwell. What are you waiting for? Once you arrive, you may never leave. This was a public service broadcast by the Visit Chandwell Tourist Board. Chandwell, a It's not as grim as you think it is.